Hey, what's up guys? Jerome here from the Bonsai Supply. And in today's video, we are going to give this New Zealand Japanese maple its very first styling. So this Japanese maple was given to me earlier this year in the spring. And it was just a stump, it didn't have any branches. And it also barely had any roots. So the first thing that I did is pot it into this larger container with good bonsai soil. And then I kind of just waited to see what was going to happen. As you can see, the tree has survived and it is very happy now, but it has very unbalanced growth. So for instance, on this side, it is not as strong as it is on this side. As you can see, these two branches are, about 3-4 feet. They have extended from the trunk, where on this side, they're a little bit shorter. Also, we have a lot of sections on the tree where multiple branches come out of the exact same section. So for instance, right here, we have one branch and two branches that come out of the exact same spot. And over here, we actually have 3 branches that come out of the exact same spot. And so you want to go ahead and eliminate this problem immediately. So you never want to have more than 1 branch coming out of every given section of the trunk. So here where we have 3, we have to remove 2 and just keep 1. And since we are in the middle of July, we have this great opportunity where we can come in here, since the deciduous trees go into a dormant period, we can defoliate the tree, see the entire structure, choose the front, and then we can eliminate branches and give this tree its very, very first styling. Also, if you notice, up here, we have a fairly ugly stump that was just cut across when it was collected. And that's just to see where the tree will resprout on the top. And as you can see, it has resprouted on the left side and on the right side on the exact same height. And if we don't go ahead and eliminate one side, and we have to use a saw to kind of change the angle to, number 1, improve the taper, but number 2, if we would leave it as is with these 2 horns, basically, as they start to grow, we will have a large U section up there, or it will look almost like bull horns up there. So we have to go ahead and adjust these things as they come up. So you do not want to wait too long before you go ahead and adjust the problem like this. The New Zealand Japanese maple, which is what this one is, of course, has larger leaves than a regular Japanese maple, and the leaves are a little jagged as well, but we can shrink them down over time. So now the interesting thing is that there's actually over 2,000 different cultivars of Japanese maple. So it's really, really incredible. I know probably about 30 to 40 different Japanese cultivars. So there's definitely a lot of them out there. The cool thing about the New Zealand Japanese maple, however, is that they grow extremely fast. So we can turn this into a pretty cool bonsai tree in a matter of no time. So the first thing that we're going to do here today is remove all the leaves, and then we're going to choose a front, and then we're going to do the branch selection. So let me go ahead and start to defoliate this tree. And the way to do defoliate this tree is very, very easy, as all maples are. You can pretty much, what I like to do is hold the base of a branch and then just kind of pull up on the leaves. Let's see. So now that the tree is defoliated, I want to go ahead and take a look and see if I can find the best possible front of this tree. And so the first thing that I look for is actually for the root spread. So I want to look for the section of the tree that has the nicest and widest root spread, which makes the tree look more powerful. And that's really the first thing that I look for. I don't really care about the branches at this point because I can regrow them. Remember at the beginning when I said there were no branches on the tree, and now I have all of these branches? So when you defoliate and the tree comes back to life, or wakes up again, so to speak, then you get branches all over the trunk. So I really don't have to worry about that. Now adjusting the root spread is a lot more difficult. And so I think I have found the section that is the widest and also has just slight movement in the trunk. And I think that front is here. It's right going to be in between here, somewhere in there. As you can see, the trunk, the root spread is the widest and is nicely spreading out like that. And then if you follow up the trunk line, you can see that it has just a slight bend. And if we adjust this knob on top here and cut it towards the back and use one of these two guys up here as a new leader, then we can fix the movement and we don't even have to look at the scar. So that could kind of be like a home run. So I think that's what we're going to go for. Alright, so now that I have found the front of the tree, the next step now would be to go ahead and wire the branches and just put them approximately into the direction that I want the branches to end up being. Now I have a problem, not really too much of a problem, but I have a section in here where you can see this branch comes out on the exact opposite side of this branch here and is literally straight across. So one of these branches will have to go, and since I have this first branch down here, which I think I'm going to incorporate into the design, I'm going to have to go ahead and remove this branch. And so today, I really don't think about it too much. I just remove what shouldn't be there. And then hopefully when the tree comes back and starts to push out more growth, I can then be more selective on the trunk line where I want to have the new growth to be. So this branch will have to go today. So let me get to work. So far I only wired 4 branches in total, these 2 in the front and then these 2 in the back. And these 4 branches that I wired are the ones that I'm going to keep, and those are positioned quite well on the tree today. Now the next step that I have to do is actually fix this flush straight cut up here. And so I took a marker and I'm going to keep this as a new leader, and this is actually going to go. And the same with this branch on the other side. So I'm just going to keep one leader. So I took a pen and I marked the line that I'm going to cut. And I'm going to cut this at a very steep angle. And then I'm going to let this grow out. And as this starts to grow out, it will start to heal this section that I'm going to cut. And that's going to create taper further up on the tree. Now a couple things to note here. Japanese maples are notorious for wire scarring. And the wire scarring you're going to see forever. So I have to keep a very close eye on this wire. And as soon as it starts to bite into the branches, I have to go ahead and remove the wire immediately. Now as you can see, the branches have not been placed yet. And that's because I want to do the cut first and then focus on placing the branches. And so for this job, I'm going to use a little saw, or as I call it, a turkey cutter. It is a very good saw, and I'm gonna use the saw to cut this top off. I attached a new wood cutting blade, and so now let's go ahead and cut this at an angle. Alright, so we started out with about 15 branches, and now we just have 4 branches, well 5 if you count the leader, the sacrifice branch. And that's really the way that you want to approach any piece of material that you work with. Remove everything that you don't like, make sure that you apply cut paste so that these wounds can heal very nicely. And now with us making this cut up here, we're actually improving the taper and making the overall design look a little bit more elegant down the road. Now of course this leader here, I'm going to keep it bare to about here, and I want to let the top grow out completely, and as it starts to sway in the wind, this will start to heal over this section here, which will take a couple years, but I'm in no rush. And then I'm just going to continue to improve this design. I'm going to repot this tree into a better suited pot next year in the spring. And the next time that I'm actually going to touch the tree will probably be in the fall of this year. But until then, I'm just going to fertilize it well, keep it healthy, water it well, and continue working on the tree little by little, develop it over time. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, please comment below. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.
All right.